everyone, Donna here from Mortgage Powered Financial Group, and welcome back to the Mortgage Sweet Spot Lender Edition. This series is where we sit down with our lending partners to break down real policy, real files, and conversations brokers don't always get to hear. Every lender has their strengths, their quirks, and their behind-the-scenes magic. Better deals, better relationships, and better results. Let's jump in. Natalie?
Hi, Donna.
I am so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
I
Thank you.
cannot believe that we're in this spot right now. Before we dive in, who are you?
Well, my name is Natalie Echlin. I am the Business Development Manager with Alta West Capital for the Southwest region of Ontario. We are a private lender, a MIC. We've been around for over 30 years, and we have a lot of new, exciting, and up-and-coming things in 2026.
For those of us who haven't worked with you yet, what do you do? Where do you work?
So I work from home. However, I'm always on the road visiting our brokers and agents in Ontario. Our central office is located in Alberta. And really what my job is to connect with brokers and agents and show them how we can help your businesses grow and help provide good solutions for your clients.
So Alta West lends all across Ontario?
Yes, we do. We lend all across Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia.
That's really cool, actually. But you work in a specific region?
Yes. So I work the Southwest region of Ontario, and London Clark, my colleague, handles the Northeast region of Ontario.
What is one thing that you wish brokers knew about Alta West?
So I wish brokers truly understood our stated income product. I know different lenders do stated income differently. With Alta West, it's truly stated income. All that we ask is that clients write down their gross income on paper, sign off on it. And as long as it's reasonable and it makes sense and it's 75% LTV or less, we accept it.
So like a napkin?
We do have a stated income letter. Yes, we do.
No bank statements.
No bank statements for 75% LTV or less. If we are going above and beyond 75%, it would be 3 months bank statements.
Wait, you're a MIC and you go above 75% loan to value?
You got it. We go to 80% on purchases and refinances, and we go up to 83% on purchases.
Tell me more.
So our 83% product is designed for purchases in major urban areas for owner-occupied properties only. So this may come in handy if, you have a deal perhaps that falls apart at the 11th hour with a different lender and we need to close quickly. Alta West can close on a purchase in 5 business days.
So let's go back to the bank statements. There's no bank statements?
So over 75% LTV, we do ask for 3 months bank statements plus confirmation of business registration as well. And for business for self, that's it.
There are lenders asking for 24 months right now.
I understand that. Yeah. So that by far is Alta West's shining point. That is where we can truly help those business for self folks, or even perhaps clients that haven't yet passed their probationary period. They may not have 2 years history. Documentation is a really, really big one for Alta West. And I do believe we're able to help in that area.
Documents as though you want them all or none at all?
Well, we do ask for documents. However, our condition list is not very long at all. So once the broker submits the file, it takes about 4 to 6 hours to hear back from one of our underwriters.
Sorry, same day commitments?
Same day commitments. You got it.
And no blood types?
No blood types.
Fun. I'm shocked. That's quite cool. Where do you see the mortgage market going in the next 12 months?
Yeah. So based on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing in the market, I do believe that we are going to be in a declining market up until the spring. I do believe that appraisal values will continue to decrease. And then past the spring of next year, I'm hoping that things turn around. But honestly, Donna, I don't have a crystal ball.
Mine broke in COVID.
Yours too.
What types of clients other than the self-employed clients do you think fit best with Alta West?
For sure. Great question. Again, it's those clients that really don't have the documentation to qualify on the A or B side. So again, we're asking for at most, when we're going above 75% LTV, is going to be those 3 months bank statements or a letter of employment or a pay stub. One of those 3 items. So this can be really significant, again, for folks that maybe they're newly employed, right? Maybe they're newcomers to Canada. And then aside from documentation, it could even be TDS is too high. They don't qualify with the debt servicing ratios that A or B lenders require. We do not stress test our loans. We're qualifying at contract rate. And yeah, I feel like that's why we're so busy and seeing so many files.
Can an employed person do a stated deal with you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we are in the year of compliance and oversight and changes. Mm-hmm. And we know that exit strategy is a huge thing that we as brokers need to focus on. And I say a lot, just because we can do something doesn't mean that we should.
Absolutely.
Going back to your 83% loan to value, I understand it's 80% plus fees capped. Mm-hmm. What is an exit strategy for somebody like that in a market like this?
That's a great question, and I appreciate it. So our terms are 24 months long, and they're fully open after the first 12 months. On any of our products that are 70% LTV or higher, we do require an amortizing payment, up to 35 years amortization. So it's really important that when we're putting clients in that 83% product, that they are paying down some of their principal.
So on this one, it's required to have a declining payment. What about your other loans? Do they have the option of amortized payments as well?
Absolutely.
I think that's unique to this industry. I don't know very many MICs that are able to accommodate that. That's actually pretty great. Now, are your payments monthly? Do you have the flexibility to allow biweekly to line up with pay dates?
Our payments are monthly taken on the first of each month currently. That's our standard.
Do you offer prepaid mortgages?
We do. We offer prepaid mortgages when it makes sense. And again, we have to take a look at the overall profile of the loan. Exit plan is a really, really big one.
When does it make sense?
So prepaid loans would make sense. For example, if you have two elderly clients, maybe that are on a fixed income, pensioned income, they're getting their home ready to list for market, and they need time for that, and they need time to close on the sale of their home. Maybe they're moving into a retirement home, or what I've seen recently is elderly folks moving in with other family members. So in that case, when the exit is to sell, it makes sense to prepay the loan to help out those folks maybe that need that extra cash flow every month.
That makes sense to me. If you could wave your magic wand and fix one common issue in the broker world, what would it be?
Ooh.
Sorry, specific to broker submitted files.
Specific to brokers submitting files. So submission notes are crucial. And sometimes what happens is we get files come in without any submission notes at all. And this just delays our turnaround time, really. And also, I think specifically when brokers are getting to know Alta West, don't be afraid to pick up the phone, call me, send me an email or text me. I'll go through the deal and I'll help you structure it, because the challenge on the brokering side is that there's so many different lenders out there, and it's really, really difficult to know what each lender is expecting. So I'm more than happy to help structure a deal and set that deal up for success and getting that approval.
I have the pleasure of seeing lots of submission notes for some of my newer agents, and nothing irritates me more when an agent says, this is a really great client. The property is fabulous. 1,500 square feet, good credit. I always go back and the underwriter doesn't need the obvious. It's already in the application. What do you like to see in the submission notes that you're not seeing?
Painting a story, right, about the client. You got to put yourself in the underwriter's position. And that's something that I feel like brokers don't do. So when you are in the position of an underwriter, you don't know the client personally. You don't know, fair. Right? You don't know what their exit plan is. You don't know what the story is. So painting that clear picture for the underwriting team and having the submission make sense is really crucial to keeping things streamlined, because, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not putting the client in a situation that's going to benefit them and improving their situation, we're not going to approve the deal.
So underwriters can't read minds?
They can't, no. I mean, they're pretty good, but they can't read minds.
So other than submission notes, what's one more thing that brokers should start doing today to make your life easier?
So selfishly, being responsive, right? After deals are submitted, we do have a 5-day commitment clause And, there are those situations where sometimes we go weeks without hearing back from a broker. And again, it clogs things up in our pipeline. We like to keep things streamlined and moving quickly. So just dealing with brokers that are really responsive and communicative and having that mutual respect is what we're looking for.
So 5 days from the date that the commitment is issued, we must send back a signed commitment.
Or at least communicate with us. We're not going to cancel it after 5 days. That would be silly, right? But just let us know what's going on.
I think what a lot of newer agents don't understand is that when a MIC in particular commits a file, they have to allocate those funds.
Yes.
So if we choose not to respond, that money is sitting in waiting basically and not earning income for your investors, which becomes a problem, right? So
100%.
But also, I think that a lot of people throw deals at walls and hope that they can get a better offer somewhere else. Mm-hmm. What should we be doing to avoid that? I mean, you already touched on pick up the phone and call me.
Yes.
What else should we be doing to make sure that we're doing the right thing?
Absolutely. So part of your role as brokers is to know your lender, know their product offering. So getting familiar and getting comfortable really with the lenders that you choose to work with, and I'm sure you tell your brokers this and agents this as well, knowing maybe 3 mix really, really well and getting very familiar with their products, right, is super helpful. But at the same time, we are in a very competitive market and brokers and agents have to do what's right for their clients. So if there's another MIC that is offering better terms, please bring it to my attention and I will try to beat it. And if I can't beat it, I will say, God bless, and you need to do what's right for the client. So
one thing that I say a lot is that we should not expect that we could get exceptions once a commitment is issued. So I tell my agents to make sure that they're upfront and set the expectation with the underwriters. What are you seeing on your side with exceptions once a commitment is issued? I know you said that there's not a lot of conditions on your deals, but I'm sure that they do come up.
Yes.
What do you see?
Well, Alta West wants to keep deals with Alta West, and Alta West wants to keep deals with the broker. So whether we're competing with another broker or we're competing with another lender, absolutely, we have made exceptions. Whether we're decreasing our rate or our fee to be competitive, we want to be the best MIC in the space. We want to continue to grow in terms of volume, offerings, and our service to brokers, right? So if and when we can make an exception to make your lives easier, we will do it. There might be instances where we can, and that's okay. But I have seen our lending committee and management make a lot of exceptions.
So if we need exceptions, what is a turnaround on something like that?
Yeah, great question again. So our executive team, our lending committee, very, very responsive. 3 hours.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Tell us about a file where you were able to get creative and help someone who didn't fit the traditional lending mold.
Recently, we had a file where there was a property that was listed for sale, higher end home in a little bit of a rural area. And there also was a purchase made by the same clients. So in this scenario, we were able to tag both properties.
So tag means blanket mortgage?
Blanket both properties, yes. And we were able to put in a partial discharge clause. So although we do not offer...
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Right? Yeah.
Nobody does that I'm aware of.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. So what I'm finding in this market is that people will list their homes, but sometimes they'll sit on the market for a little while and they'll take a bit longer to close. However, these same clients have made purchases and they're closing on their purchases sooner.
I think this market is so different now. Gone are the days where you put a house up today and it sells tomorrow.
Right.
One of my kids told me that he's decided he wants to go away to university. So I was at first sad because he's my favorite and he should stay home forever. But then I realized that means that I get to move. So I get to move in a year. And I actually this morning, I was like, well, how am I going to do that? Am I going to list my house first and sell it and hope to find something? Or am I going to buy a house and then sell if I were to buy a house and not sell my house and it was listed for sale, would you be able to help with a bridge, even though it's not sold? And what would that look like?
Absolutely. So the way Alta West looks at bridge loans is the same way we would look at collateralizing another property. That's basically it. So we would take the value of both properties, combine them, and then we would take the encumbrances of both properties, divide one by the other, and that gives us an overall LTV.
And you'll go to 80 on a purchase if it makes sense.
Yeah. So area, property would all be a factor.
But you'd have to be doing mortgages on both properties?
Yes.
So you won't do a standalone bridge in a situation like this?
Both of the properties would be registered together. Okay. Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's the biggest misconception brokers have about your products and your qualification rules?
Well, I think there's still a little bit of a stigma of private lending that, you have to have a really low credit score or you have to be in dire straits to access a private lender and have the solution make sense. That is just not the case.
Speaking of credit score, what's your average credit score?
Our average Beacon score is just below 700.
But you're an alternative lender.
Right.
What does that say about the market?
So what that says about the market is a few things. The private lending space is getting extremely competitive. At one point in time, even just a few years ago, we would see rates in 8.99, 9.99 on a first mortgage. Now our rates start at 5.99%. So
I'm just going to say that my mortgage is not with a MIC and it renewed at the height of the market. And my mortgage is higher than my rate is higher than what you're offering clients today.
Right.
And we're fully qualified. So that speaks volumes, right? Like so many people, gone are the days where people with bad credit, low credit, desperate went to MICs. Now I find that it's strategic.
Absolutely.
Right. And when you're dealing with self-employed people who, based on the conversation, I think is really your target audience. I mean, It doesn't get any better than that. I say a lot, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but either you pay taxes or you get a good interest rate.
Yeah.
And a lot of business owners are smart that way. So that product is exceptional. You talked about at the beginning of this conversation about things that are coming for Alta West in 2026.
Yes.
Care to spill the tea?
Absolutely. So I am so excited about our recent acquisition of Premier Mortgage.
Out of Kelowna?
That's right. So Premier is also a MIC who have been around for 40 years. And they serve the same provinces that we serve. So British Columbia, Alberta, and BC.
But they like to do agricultural property and farmland, don't they?
That's right.
And you don't?
Not currently.
I feel like that's a good match made in heaven.
That's right. So I am super pumped because in the Southwest, let's face it, we have those small towns and pockets, rural areas, population maybe under 50K with really good, strong borrowers that just can't access the private funds they need because traditionally private lending is reserved for major urban centers.
Yeah.
Premier specializes, that's in those rural centers, that's their niche. So as of April 30th of 2026, we will have fully absorbed all of those investors and you can submit those rural files to Alta West.
That's kind of cool. And do you have loan to value restrictions in areas?
Yes, we do.
What do you consider urban?
So urban areas are GTA, London. We do lend in places like Windsor, Kingston as well, scaling back slightly to LTV, maybe a max of 75% in those areas. But in terms of our 83% products, that would be GTA, Kitchener-Waterloo, London, some areas in Niagara Falls.
What about our friends in Brant County, Norfolk, like that area where there's lots of people there? I mean, there's a Walmart in Norfolk now.
Yeah, so in areas like Norfolk, typically we're scaling back to about 65% LTV currently. When we fully onboard, all of the Premier investors will be going up to 75% as long as the population is over 10,000.
I was going to say, because they think that urban is way smaller than we think.
That's right.
That's actually incredible. I don't know very many MICs that will go that high in those areas. So that'll be very helpful for all of us, actually. What is one piece of advice you have for brokers heading into 2026?
So my biggest piece of advice is that if you're predominantly focused on prime lending, get to know your business for self clients very well and see if maybe you can offer them some solutions on the private lending side. I feel like, the private lending space is going to continue to grow and expand. I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. And this is, again, because the market is so competitive in private lending right now. So, for example, at that rate of 5.99 that we offer, business for self clients, even newly employed, hourly salaried, they don't have the income document requirements that you're going to find at an A or B lender. So it's all about being able to offer solutions to your clients. If, you go back to your client after having spoken with a few different lenders on a particular file, it's great to give them options and then let them decide.
That's fair. One of the complaints I hear a lot is, competition out there is fierce by some of our big bank competitors. So I always say, why put yourself in a position where you're competing? Let's find people that banks can't service. And you're 100% correct. It's getting to know our self-employed people. We do have, insured options for them. We do have B options. Yep. But sometimes the private option is actually way easier than the B space. So it's, and rates are so close.
Yes.
Honestly. So that's a great recommendation. I think that we need to find a way to set ourselves apart from everybody else. All right. You ready for some fast questions?
Okay.
What's your coffee order?
Black.
Fastest approval you've ever seen?
3 hours.
Worse but funny reason a deal had to be reworked or couldn't proceed?
Ooh. Low appraisal value.
If Alta West had a theme song, what would it be?
Celebrate good times. Come on.
One policy you change instantly if you could.
One Alta West policy?
Or any policy.
Stress test.
Right?
It's not even about me.
I can't even believe you had to think about that.
No, I was thinking an Alta West policy, but no, just in general, stress test.
If you weren't a BDM or in the mortgage space, what would you be doing right now?
There would be nothing else that I'd want to do. So I would either have had to have won the lottery or got to a point where I can just vacation all year long. So a professional traveler.
I love that for you. One lender myth that needs to die today.
That lenders ask for everything but your firstborn.
What's the wildest can you make an exception request you've ever received?
Asking us to go 3% lower on a rate.
On a scale of 1 to absolutely not, how do you feel when someone calls you before checking your product sheets?
I welcome that because to me, that shows me that they trust me. And I would rather have like an open door policy with brokers and agents rather than having to feel like I'm unapproachable.
I mean, this industry is based on relationships.
That's
so if
right.
They're calling you, that means they know, like, and trust you, right?
100%.
Which is worse, a deal with no story, a deal with no documents, or documents submitted as photos?
A deal with no story.
What is one thing brokers think that impressed you but absolutely does not?
So I'm impressed by volume, but I'm more impressed by a person's character. So if you're a crappy human being, but you do a ton of volume, I don't want to work with you.
Not your secret sauce. I love that. If lenders had a private group chat, what would everybody be complaining about right now?
Definitely appraisal values. Appraisal values.
That's not what lenders are complaining about. Stop even going there.
That's what I'm complaining about. 100% is appraisal values right now.
So it's not about us not knowing how to enter a deal, us not answering the phone, us not responding quick enough. Like, those aren't things that you guys would be upset about?
So I have a shit list of brokers that aren't responsive. I was going to say it.
Okay, so you'd be complaining about those people. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's the funniest reason a broker has given you for why a deal absolutely has to close within 48 hours?
It's always a purchase. It's always a purchase. I don't really have too many funny scenarios about that.
I would think that you would know if a deal was going south before 48 hours.
Fair. Thank you for putting that in context. So this deal just landed on my desk today.
And it's closing in 2 days.
And it's closing in 2 days, yes.
I've seen a few of those.
Yes.
I asked them for hope and a prayer.
Yeah.
If you had to create a new tagline for Alta West based on how brokers actually use your products, what would it be?
Ooh, I like that. Great solutions, easy closings.
Actually, that's pretty cool. What's the most dramatic reaction you've seen when you've quoted a rate?
That's too high. I'm getting, this rate from another lender. And then my response is usually, how much are they being charged on discharge? compare apples to apples, my friends. You know, you got to know the front end fees and you got to know the back end fees.
It's not just the cost of getting into a mortgage that matters. The cost of getting out is equally important.
That's right.
If you could send one anonymous message to all mortgage brokers and agents in Canada, what would it be?
I love you guys.
Where can brokers reach you to learn more about your products?
So we have a fantastic website. And although I welcome, again, those calls, emails, texts anytime, if you're more of a technical person and, you know, you don't have time to pick up the phone or don't care to, our website's phenomenal. www.awcapital.ca. It's currently not password protected. If you go toggle under brokers, mortgage products and scroll down, everything is laid out beautifully for you there.
That's awesome. Any final sweet spot wisdom for our viewers today?
I'm giving you all shout outs. I'm giving you all kudos because this market has been tough. It has been challenging. And I have so much respect for those brokers and agents that really are persevering. I've actually heard great success stories. One just last night that this has been this particular broker's best year yet in 2025. So I feel like if you're not doing it already, lean on your leaders and your brokerage, brainstorm ways that you can pivot, get creative, expand your business. Like I said, focusing on private lending might be a really great option.
If you're a mortgage agent level 2 or a broker, of course.
That's right. You got it.
Awesome. This wraps up another episode of the Mortgage Sweet Spot Lender Edition. A huge thank you to Natalie Echlin with Alta West for the insight, the honesty, and the lender side wisdom. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a broker who needs a little sweet spot clarity in their lives. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.